Hey, welcome to video number 234 of Walker This Way with Hazel Walker, the queen of all things
BNI and networking, especially how women network. See, I got my books back there.
You do have your books. I am Mark Simmons. How are you doing today, Hazel Walker?
Actually, pretty good, all things considered.
Good. So, Hazel, I was thinking about character. And it was specifically around my grandmother, because my grandmother would always say to me, Marky, you're such a character. I think she meant I was funny or not funny. I don't know, right? But I was such a character. Probably like a cartoon character. I don't know if you remember Mad Magazine, Alfred E. Neuman. I used to get referred to as Alfred E. Neuman. Maybe that was the character I was at. All right. But last night we were at an event, and I had a white suit on, and somebody called me Pitbull. So that was my character then.
You actually get called that a lot when you were.
I do. Yeah, I don't know why. Anyways.
If you had his money, would it be great?
But character, when it comes to, credibility and are you of good character, is something very different. Like, what is your character?
It is very different.
Yeah. And that comes up a lot about, you hear people say, even in real estate, one of the things about getting licensed that you have to be of good character. It actually says that as part of with the BCFSA, like the regulator, are you of good character? Which is something different, but it leads more into what we were discussing earlier.
It leads to how you build credibility with people.
Correct.
So have you ever read The Speed of Trust by Stephen M. R. Covey?
I have not.
It's a good book. I read it years ago. In fact, when I met him at BNI one time, he followed us. We did our keynote on business networking and sex. And then he followed us up with The Speed of Trust. And he said to me, I'm never following you guys again, because we just had the room laughing and everything. He's really a nice guy. And he autographed a book and mailed it to me, and everything was great. But I love the book because it is about all levels of trust, all kinds of trust, not just do I trust you with my money. It's about how the lack of trust is very expensive. When people don't trust the government, people don't do the things the government needs them to do. When people don't trust a company, people stop buying from the company. Right? Can I trust you? This has been a trusted brand. Why is it a trusted brand? So he goes into, you can't do negotiations and mediations if there's no trust, right? And he goes into the expense of having no trust, and how when you do a good job building trust, you become richer. I mean, you can move things faster, you can make more money, all of that stuff. So he's got what I like and what I teach when I'm teaching people how to build trust in referral relationships. And I teach this stuff usually outside of BNI. I teach the 4 cores of integrity. It's the 4 cores. It's called 4 cores of credibility. And the first 2, so the first part, you've got character and you've got competence, right? Here's competence, up here's character. So in character, you have integrity and intention. Integrity, intention. And integrity is all about your values. Do you live your values? Are you who you say you are, even when you're all alone? Will you violate your own values to get ahead?
Right.
Will you, do you have the courage to stand up for your values? Right? So if my value is justice and everybody should have justice, if I see something unjust happening to someone, will I step in and stand up for that person? Because that's my value. Right? That's I value justice. And I believe everybody needs to be treated fairly. And so am I willing to stand up for that? And in the business I'm in BNI, I have to stand up for that quite often, because sometimes things are being unjustly done, and you can't do it that way. It's got to be just for everybody, right? So, well, are you willing to fight for those values? Are you willing to live those values? Is really important for me to trust you. Are you a man of good character? And that usually revolves around, are you a man of values? Will you fight for your values? Will you stand up for your values? Do you even know your values? I took a program called Core Value Training, and I went into that program. It was a 2-year program, and I went into it with a list of values. I just went through a list and picked out the ones I thought kind of resonated with me. But then over the 2 years, we had to write all these stories about our proudest moments, our saddest moments, our most harrowing moments, all these different kinds of things. And inside those stories, you would find values. I'm like, oh, that was the value of courage, and that was the value of commitment, and when you could find about 10 of those, you could see that this is the value you actually live. Right? So courage and commitment and contribution are values that I live. These are important things to me all the time, right? And as well as freedom and fun and justice. Those are all my values. Those things are important to me. And I live them all the time because I'm all about freedom and fun. If it's not fun, I'm not happy. That's a value, right? So that's the first part of being, I like it when I find it interesting when I hear someone say, oh, he's a good man. He's a good man. Well, why is he a good man? He always does what he says he's going to do, and his values. Oh, so it makes a good man. But the second part of that is intention. So you've got character, integrity, and intention. They go hand in hand. Even if you mess something up, and I know you, and you mess something up, but I know that your heart was in the right place, and it was done with all good intention, and there was no ill intent or evilness, people are more likely to forgive you the things you screw up on. Right? They're more likely to forgive you. So people will look for your intention all the time. They're always looking for that. And do you have the best interest? The win-win conversation? Yeah. Do you have the best interest for other people? Is that what's in your heart? Is the best interest of what is in the best interest of everybody? So that it's winning for everybody. So that's something we look at inside BNI a lot. Well, what is in the best interest of the chapter?
Yes.
The whole, and I say that to membership committees all the time. You are not to be looking out for your own best interest. You're to be looking out for the best interest of the chapter as a whole. That's the intention. So character is the very first part of building credibility, and it's values and intentions. What are you doing and why?
And the values are really important. In my coaching world, a really simple exercise, and if you don't know your values, here's a really simple way of finding out what your values are. Here it is. Number 1, think about 2 people that inspire you in the world, living or dead, real or otherwise. Just think about who they are, write their names down. Second part, just start thinking up keywords of what is inspiring about them to you. Make the list, a big list. Just keep it going. What is inspiring about those people? What's the feeling you get from? What's the energy? Write it down. And then read over the list you have, because that list are your values. What you see in others are your values.
Well,
it doesn't mean you honor value. Huh?
You also have to be able to look at your life and go, but is that something I live?
No, but that's the next part. Is it doesn't mean you're honoring all the values. Some you honor, some you walk on. So then you look at, so what am I honoring? And then you look at, well, what am I walking on, and what's getting in the way from honoring it? That's the process of it.
So when someone tells me family is my number 1 value, you're never home with your family. You don't even sit down and have dinner with your family. You're not even around for the gatherings or the special dates. So how is that value being honored? You're sacrificing family for profit or something else. What are you doing? So I say that. And I also, the other word that I get caught up in is the word integrity. Mm-hmm. Because if I say to someone, what does integrity mean? Well, it means doing what you say, being a good person, and there's a whole linear of things that go under the umbrella of integrity. But really what integrity, if you look up the definition, it means sameness.
Mhm.
The wall is in integrity. It's strong, it's safe, it's the same right now, it's the same when I'm asleep, it's the wall. That wall is in integrity, right? He is being who he, and I've said this to people when he lies all the time. I've got a friend say, he lies all the time. And I go, he's in integrity with who he is. That's what you know that about him. So why are you shocked or surprised?
Mm.
That is who he is. That's his level of integrity.
Right.
So for me, that's a big word.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's a lot of really good self-reflection here from today's Walker This Way video. Knowing your values. Are you integrity? Understand what integrity means to you. And take a look at your life around you. How is that impacting those around you? Do you know?
And what is your intention in life? My intention is to be a millionaire at all cost.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you're probably working towards, you probably don't want to be a character like my grandmother meant. Such a character. It's really building a good, whatever character is for you. I don't know, but being in integrity and sameness in your character and living your truth and who you are.
Be willing to defend your values.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. All right. This was a very heady Walker This Way video. Lots to think about, but really great pieces around it. Reach out if you have questions. Leave comments on our YouTube video or email us, whatever it is you want to do. And happy to have more conversation about it.
Absolutely.
All righty. Hey, Walker, good stuff. Until next time.
See you then.
Bye.